So what would the world be like if we didn't have etiquette or manners?
It would be chaotic. If you think about it, what's so important in any world, and of course it has different degrees in different countries, but it's law. So yes, I said etiquette is like communication, it's like a language, but it's also like a law because it's a set of codes that tells us what is appropriate behavior and what's not appropriate behavior. Of course, there isn't a universal code because what's appropriate for one is going to be highly inappropriate for another one, which is why we need to do more research and understand why. Understand history. History sets out traditions. And then traditions are passed on from generation to generation. And suddenly you say, but that's the way it has to be done. And then you question why, because that's the way it's always been done. But then you go elsewhere and it's been done exactly the opposite. So the rules help us to build a cohesive social structure. It can help us build cohesive diplomatic relations. It can help us build cohesive business relationships. So without it, it would be chaos.
Welcome back. Well, you just heard Tamiko Brown Zeblith. Well, she is an international etiquette consultant and intercultural management advisor, and she is very well known in the world. Well, if you heard her answer, it kind of makes a lot of sense, isn't it? Etiquette is nothing less than a law. They are a set of protocols that we must follow wherever we go, and these protocols will change as per the land or as per people. Now, what happens if you break them? Well, since it's not the law of the land, so it's not that you will be behind bars, but it can break your communication. And that could be a big barrier. So when you say why, or rather, let me put this question. When you think about that, there are certain people who do certain things in a certain way and it irks you, think about from their aspect as well. Have you understood as to why are they doing it? Have you understood their culture or the way they are thinking? See, here in Winners Hub, what we do most of the time and all the time is, instead of pointing fingers at others, let's retrospect, let's introspect, let's see within ourselves first, where can we or where do we go wrong and what can we do to fix it. So I'll tell you this. I'm going to go on and I'm going to play another video of Tamika Zeblith, okay? And the question that I asked you, I hope you had put in the answer. And now let's see what she has to talk about why, or rather, is etiquette or manners important at business place. Okay, let's watch this video, and I want you to put down your understanding from the first video as well that you just saw. Okay, do you agree with it? And if you agree with it, what are the reasons that you agree with it? All right, okay, let's watch this video and then we're going to talk more.
Why is etiquette so important in the business world?
I think actually etiquette is, I don't want to say more important in the business world, but when you think there's a bottom line at hand in doing business, social relationships, there are different implications. In business, a company's objective is to increase market share, to make more money, to do, have better, strong relationships. And one thing we'll see, for instance, I'll give you one example, going from America to Saudi Arabia as a woman for business.
Very different.
Very different. Whereas in a boardroom in New York or San Francisco or LA, we can be outspoken, we can share our ideas, we can say I. Whereas when I found myself in Al Khobar the first time, I realized I needed to write down my notes and pass my notes to a gentleman who was on my team. And well, and this is when it becomes interesting. It's only humiliating when it's misunderstood. This is the point. So because I understood what was valued in their culture, they didn't minimize my, what can we say, that the input business-wise. The interest was getting the answer. I had to figure out how to get the answer to them. Again, we're back to communication. If I tell you a poem in perfect Japanese with beautiful syntax and grammar, it's wonderful.
Will you be doing that?
I might. You understand Japanese, and that's the point. So no matter how beautiful it is, if you don't understand my message is lost. So in business, my job was to get the contract. However I had to get the contract had to be done in a way that they would understand and respect and not be distracted. So I passed the note.
I think so many people are not that savvy
And that's where we need
choose to be heard first and try to navigate that.
exactly.
Now, how was that? Isn't it fascinating to hear what, and rather how she tackled the situation in Saudi Arabia? See, we have this, we have this perception about a lot of things, about different countries, about different culture, be it American culture or a UK culture or Australian or anywhere, okay? Or even Saudi Arabia for that matter. And we look at situations and the conditions in which people are living in through the lenses of our own culture and traditions. And most of the time what I've seen is we are wrong when we try and compare two cultures together, because each culture is defined by some historical background to it. There are some age-old traditions which kind of prevailing. Now, I'm not saying all of them are correct, but all of them are not wrong as well. Now, if you have understood this, how well she tackled the situation, you see, instead of getting offended, she decided to understand where they're coming from. And once you understand that, it becomes easier for you to respect and create a very collaborative relationship. And that's what the essence of this is. So when you talk about etiquette, often people think about, etiquette is just about eating with knife and fork, or saying hello and hi to other people. No. Etiquette covers a whole lot of things which we are not aware of, and that is the reason why I'm covering this in the way I'm covering this. I'm going to play a video and then talk to you about this and then ask you to put down your thoughts on it. And that is when, so I just want to understand whether you're able to understand about how you're supposed to behave, because your behavior and the way you behave and the way you respond, the way you react are all part of your manners and etiquette. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? So remember that. In our country, if you look at it, if you go just 10 to 20 kilometers away from where you live, you will find changes in eating habits, the way people live, the way people think. And furthermore, if you go, and we are quite a diverse country. I mean, I'm very proud of the fact that we have so much of diversity, from starting from Jammu Kashmir and all the way to Kanyakumari. We have so much of cuisine, so much of ethnicity, so much of diversity, even the way we behave and speak and language and the food we eat. Having said that, the only reason why most of the time, we find it difficult to accept few of the things, because that is what happens when it comes to when the two culture clashes or two traditions clash, okay, is when we begin to think of which one is superior. She could have easily thought about that, I am from UK and I am not supposed to be like this, and this is so humiliating and demeaning towards women, but she didn't. She decided to understand. And that is the key, ladies and gentlemen. Understand why the person says or believe in a certain things, and then it becomes easier for you to get the job done. She ultimately got the job done. Her job was to get the contract, and she got the contract. Now imagine if she would have taken it on her ego, then it would have gone down south, isn't it? Good. So I hope you are understanding this, because this is very, very important when it comes to your professional or personal life. Trust me, if you are well behaved, people respect you more. And it's universal. It's not just in our country, it's universal. And we, especially with the culture that we come from, we have been taught to respect elders, respect everybody. But actually the true respect starts from here, okay? And then it goes all the way here. Starts from here first. So if you begin to respect the person, begin to understand what he's trying to say, then it's easier for you to create a collaborative relationship. Right, let's move on to the third video and find out what can we do, what are the habits that we should start, and what are some of the things that we should let go of. All right, I'll see you in the next one.
Well, so just to wrap things up, for our viewers who perhaps would like to start being a bit more etiquette savvy and sophisticated, what's one thing that you can tell them to stop doing right now, and then one thing that you can have them start doing?
It's a really good question, Kyle. I would say stop putting yourself first in your mind. And I know it's difficult in the land of Facebook. Look at me, Instagram, here I am, selfies, hit what's behind me.
I just had breakfast, look at it.
Exactly. It's really not interesting. Someone once said, people with small minds talk about people. People with average sized minds talk about things. And people with a really great mind talk about events. Go out and do something. I'm starting an Italian course at the end of this month. But it's something little. Do something to enhance who you are. Make yourself more interesting. Be the best version of you possible. That will make you feel better, and it will also make the people around you enjoy being around you. In terms of what should we do, I would say travel.
A little thing I was going to say.
Yes, travel. Now, of course, that's not easy for everyone, and of course, we have to take that into consideration. Then watch the Discovery Channel. Read National Geographic. Take your mind on a voyage, because that's where the beauty begins.
I love it.
Well, I don't think I need to summarize this at all, because I also love it. The way she explained it is beautiful, okay? And I hope you're able to understand why do we need to pay attention to our etiquette and manners. All right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this open for you, and I want each one of you to summarize this video. Summarize this video in your own words and tell me what have you learned from it, and what is it that you're going to do starting today that is going to help you improve your etiquette and manners. All right. Now, next one that we're going to go through it will be I'll be talking about the types of etiquette, and I'm going to cover 9 such etiquettes with you. Okay. So after this, by the way, you don't have to go anywhere to learn about etiquette. All right, provided that you are following it too and not just listening to it. Okay, so I hope you'll follow it too. Write down your summary, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.